My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 339, the story of how we all became heroes, part 2. This is a short chapter. This is like 15 pages.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is another one of those situations where it makes, right after you say that, it makes sense. Like, oh, yeah. It was short.
Yeah. Last we left off, Aoyama was being taken away into custody, and the heroes were resolving to go out and I guess, mitigate some of the damage that like the villains are unleashing upon Japan, and take the fight to one for all. But the first things first, they got to get their suits fixed. So they go to Hatsume, the support student, they basically ask her, like, hey, could you help us? And she's like, no, I cannot, because I do not have the necessary specifications to your costumes and whatnot. So, on top of that, the support corps is actually very busy working on the UA barrier, among other things. So, yeah, she basically turns them down real fast, but she goes to her desk and just starts, like, tinkering with her left hand while also, like, looking over her plans for fucking flying evacuation shelters with her right hand, which is pretty cool. I always like Hatsume, but I'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah, we will.
So yeah, as she's like freaking out about her new inventions, Deku is like starting to remark, is like, whoa, she doesn't really know what the fuck happened out there. And she's like, actually, I do. I know. I'm aware that shit's really bad out there, but, we're not fighters. The best thing we can do is to invent as many things as possible and be problem solvers in our own way, because inventing stuff is how the heroes how the support course does heroics.
You got a cute picture of her.
Yeah.
That's nice. Not better than the first one.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? When I first was reading this, I didn't realize how much of a babe Hatsume was. And now
what a babe.
Yeah.
What a tubular babe.
Inventive babe.
Inventive bae. She then tosses Midoriya just some like patched together things of his gloves that she just basically fixed with one hand. So, it's not going to be like full strength, but it'll do for now. I like that Deku keeps his face caved in, little drawing. Ida gets all of his armor shoved into his face.
Oh, wow. Caves
in his glasses into his face. Very funny illustration. Very vintage My Hero, I guess, in terms of just a little humor style. So yeah, they gather around with the others. Class 1A meets up with Mount Lady, and I think that's it. I think they're just going with her for now. She's the only teacher I see. And basically their first thing is to go in and like do some shit, I guess. They're gonna. Yeah,
did they clarify what they're doing right now? Are they going to go practicing, or they're about to go?
They're going to fight some villains. They're going to take down some of the Liberation Front as well as the League of Villains. So they're not going directly after Shigaraki right now.
Right, but I thought, all right, I thought they was planning about what they're about to do. Not like, hey, we're about to go do these things now, today. We're going to start.
Yeah,
I guess there's no problem with that.
I guess they're doing some like low voltage type shit. They're not like doing the big things. They're just like whittling down numbers until it's actually time to act, because Mountain Lady says that their best case scenario is still finding and mopping up the Liberation Front and the League of Villains as soon as possible. So I guess they're going to stay close to the shelter and basically do what they can to mitigate any damage that villains might be doing on the outside at the moment. And they're going to do it together as a supporting cast. So hopefully we get some spotlight. So they're about to go off.
Bakugo had me crying. All right, so when I was reading this shit, at first I read whammy as like whack. All right, because I kind of just like went ahead. I said, assuming he ain't. And because after what we said, I was like, oh, yeah, like what he's trying to imply is that he don't, assuming he doesn't get smoked by All For One. But the nigga says whammied. I thought he said whacked by all. I thought he's really like so he don't get whacked out. I've been watching too much. What's the show? Harlem Gangster.
That's a show.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh,
Where they talk about
Harlem Godfather.
Godfather. God, I keep fucking the name up. Yeah, Harlem Godfather. He's like, you're gonna have to whack him. I was like, yo, niggas used to talk like that.
Oh,
Get
man.
you whacked.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Kansai region, we actually see Nejire for the first time since the paranormal.
Oh,
liberation
time
war.
skip, half hair.
Kinda time skip, like maybe a couple months. Yeah, her hair shorter. She seems to have done something, but I mean, you know, she doesn't
blasted one of these.
Yeah, she really doesn't get as much spotlight as the other two of the big three that were introduced. But hopefully that changes soon. They're out there saving people. And
Mirio
whatnot.
isn't there, right?
Mirio is not there.
Why? Why is he not there?
He's probably doing something else.
Why is he never with them? He's never with the other two. He's always off doing some other shit.
He was with Sun Eater during the attack on Overhaul's thing, right?
Until he
Barely.
said, I'm gonna go ahead and
Overhaul
beat that
literally
nigga.
he literally sped run. He did any percent speed run to fucking Overhaul.
Hey, I mean, you know, you gotta have your Luffy to your Zoro, and he had his
Glitched.
Zoro stay behind and handle the thugs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hand of the Dugs. I'm going for the boss.
Yeah, for real.
You see on the other side.
Yeah. So they're gonna take them to Shiketsu High, which is the Air Guy's school, if you remember him. I forget his name,
That
but
guy's fire.
it's been a long time.
What was it, Tempest or some shit?
Tempest is his hero name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they're worried about like fewer people, meaning less intel. So like, I guess the more people they save, the less eyes on the street they really have, because they'll be shipping everybody off into shelters. That's the way I looked at it, I guess.
I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? But yeah, Fat Gum says that at this point, gone are the days of sneak attacks and raids. Now we're just going to be straight fighting in the streets, which is, I guess, preferable because we've had a lot of raids. And
Nobody really has an upper hand in this fight right now.
yeah,
It's all leveled playing field until Shigaraki comes back.
yeah. And this chapter ends with All Might talking about their plan B. And they're about to reveal the key info about the other battle that could decide it all. And that's where this chapter ends.
I'm thinking, who could that possibly be? I feel like battle could be like
Euphemism for something?
yeah,
or
purposely
metaphorically?
yeah, it's like a metaphorical battle. I think it has something to do with Shirakumo.
With who?
Shirakumo
With the Nomu that's this guy's friend, that Aizawa's friend.
Oh.
because they need a like Aoyama is their plan A, I think. Like when it comes to like getting an inside view of what's going on, I think plan B is Shirakumo to unlock that so that they can have like literally a plethora. If they could crack Shirakumo, you know how much information they can get on the operation from the inside. They could get so much because Shirakumo was literally in the center of everything.
Yeah.
Like when they were planning shit.
Yeah.
Word up,
And he
word
was
up.
he was hand chosen by All for One.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no shot that he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Remember when he put his tentacles in him and made him activate his ability? Wasn't that fucking crazy? It looked
Yeah.
so painful. Like what he...
Yeah,
That
the
was good
forced
art.
activation.
Yeah. Like it looks like it's not a nice thing that happens to you.
No, definitely not.
Like even if your quirk never actually really hurts you or damages you, it will when he does it. Just because
Ow.
he's a jerk.
And if it's an actual battle, then I don't know who could possibly... Like, I'm pretty sure Mirio would have to be involved just because we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else we haven't seen. And, like, we don't know where Aizawa is at the moment.
Aizawa's in the hospital.
Is he?
Yeah, he's still healing. I'm sure he'll be on the scene eventually. Right?
Yeah, they showed him last chapter. He was like talking to Aoyama.
Yeah, he was like on video, but
Yeah,
is it
hospital.
confirmed that he's in a hospital?
Yeah, he was videoing in from the hospital.
Okay.
He got fucked up.
I thought he was like in a separate location going somewhere.
He got
else.
12 different forms of fucked up.
Yeah,
dude.
he's still fucked up from that battle that happened only a few months ago.
I mean, come on. He's, for all intents and purposes, a regular person.
I'm not mad about his healing rate. I'm mad about why is that only a few months ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, RGC.
Oh, is this your RGC?
Yeah.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Oh, of course it is, Brian.
I don't know, man. This felt like a
No.
classic My Hero chapter. It
was fun.
so
Yo,
fun.
yeah, it sure did, Brian.
It was.
It sure
You're
did.
gonna tell me it wasn't classic My Hero?
Yes, I'm telling you, it is. But you see, what
Exactly.
you mean by that, what I mean by that is two completely different things, apparently.
What do you
To
mean?
me,
What's
what
your
classic
problem?
My Hero Academia is at this point in my life and reading career is talk, skip to the next thing. That's exactly what was going on. Lots of showing.
It was a
all
nice,
this.
humorous chapter. It was nice. It was
I don't care about that, bro, because he's burnt those. I need to see something go down. I need to see some fights. I need to see some. I'm over. I don't want to see the slice of life. Take a breath of air between each thing, because everything else has been sped through and lackluster anyway. I want them to get to the good shit. Remember before when I was trying to be positive about the whole, Aoyama being the traitor, maybe there's so much more to that. I've lost a lot of confidence in the potential for all of that, but I'm still trying to think, you know what? The battles are going to be fucking crazy. He's telling us, he's literally taken like 3 chapters already to say the same shit, which is no more sneaky deaky. It's all battle now. It's going to be crazy. Just straight up. This is the final event. Well, let's get the climax popping.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm tired of the bullshit.
I feel like we're looking over some important details.
No,
though.
I'm looking over it.
Yeah,
you're
you-
not. You're
Like-
appreciating every page, and I'm very envious of you.
like,
Not me, nigga.
It's very clear. Like, this is the second time they brought up the modules. And I feel like they're setting up another set piece, like action thing that's gonna be happening in UA. Because there's no reason why he would introduce this module shit for the civilians or whatever.
Right,
like
right.
the
Without
movement
it being
shit,
a major.
without it coming in handy, like later on.
I think we talked about this already, bro. Sorry to cut you off, but
Yeah.
just to kind of touch base, I feel like we did talk about this, and like one of the predictions I want to say I had, but I think maybe we all kind of thought about this, was that it's going to facilitate a lot of like group / one-on-one scenarios. I'm over with thinking that it's 2022 now. I don't just expect people to get traditional one-on-ones anymore. It is what it is. It's fine. I'll live my life and still read comics. With that said, I think it's going to introduce a lot of really cool situations where people are kind of trapped in a certain area where they either have to defend people, or it's just an all-out brawl, or maybe they're in a really fucked up situation where they gotta help others and do it. There's a lot of cool stuff that could come from that. And what about people's losing, getting beat up? Oh, we're gonna send the reinforcements via the rooms. I already know that's gonna happen. I called it.
It would be like a throwback, kind of a throwback
I called it.
arc where the characters got split up and put into different
You already
zones.
Yatu Sabe. That's what y'all say, right?
Yatu-san.
I know that's what I say. That's what I personally say.
But the thing that I really liked about this chapter was the humor. It's been a while since we've had a cute little funny chapter, where we get to and I guess that's what we really needed from a support character. People who aren't so serious or so fucking caught up in their own heads. When when he first walked into that room, you can see he's mad serious, right? He comes in, he's mad serious. He's like, I need this shit. You don't even know what the fuck is going on and shit. And by the end of the chapter, you could see that shit slowly thawing out. Cause it put things into a broader perspective. When you're a hero and you're out on the fucking streets, the world almost seems smaller than it is. But
yeah.
with these support heroes, their whole world is inside of this fucking room. Like they are
Because of the
here.
circumstances.
Yeah, they're literally sitting in here, grinding their fucking asses off, focused on only what they need to do to get shit set up. And it kind of shows that, and they're also not even like that serious either. They're not even like coming in. They're not even like fucking hard focused. You can see they're still smiling. They're still having a good time. They're still like, you know, it's like nothing ever happened to them. And that is like really fucking cool. I like to have people like this on your side. People who are basically like unshaken by the world. That they're always there to put their head down and get shit done. And that's what I feel like that's what Deku learned from them, kind of.
From this interaction?
Yeah, from this because you could literally see it on Deku's face that he's like trying to stay serious and shit the whole time, but you literally can't because if these guys can't afford to still be happy while doing their shit, then he can too.
With all the stress of the world on their shoulders,
Exactly.
where they may not be fine. But yeah. And you know what? I also want to kind of go back and I went ham, but like I do want to say I do slightly agree with you that this to me really was kind of like a classic My Hero Academia chapter. I'm a little over it, but like I'll just explain a little bit. You know, the way they go about talking about the things that you wouldn't, I guess, quote unquote, normally think about, and not in real life, because we do think about these things unless you're a fucking child, in my opinion. But like usually in manga and comics, they don't focus on supporting cast and make a point to say that, hey, what these guys do really does matter. But you see, it is the classic thing that he does. He did that a lot early in the series, and it was really cool because it was different. But, you know, now when he does it, it's just more of the lip service. It's just more exposition. Like, does that really matter? What happened in this chapter, bro?
Here's what I'll say.
They got the same equipment they've been had already. That's all that happened, and we got to see Hatsume.
Here's what I'll say. Like,
Am I bugging?
I'll say there's
What else
I'll let
happened?
Brian finish his
Oh,
point.
there's
and then I'll go
a
for it.
noticeable difference between this chapter and the last 3 chapters is what I will say. And what I'm willing to put out there is that I feel like Horikoshi lost sight of what made the series unique in an aspect when it comes to his character writing. Because like when I first
I
chapter,
agree with that,
this
actually.
chapter threw me way back to like season 1 when I read it. I'm like, wow, this feels like a completely different series when I read this chapter. Like, you're right that this chapter is basically saying the same thing that the last 3 chapters did, but the way that this one said it is almost like it's actually My Hero Academia in a sense. I feel like he's so caught up in like the overarching like everything that he kind of forgot what made the series so fun and so lighthearted. And that's why I feel like this chapter was kind of like a return to that. And I really enjoyed it. Like, maybe this chapter didn't accomplish much. Maybe this chapter didn't like really change anything about the series so far. But it did, you know, revive some like old but gold things that Horikoshi used to write with his characters.
Yeah. Man, I always find myself in the middle of you two because I that's
The
where I very
unbiased king.
I mean, always. I am your unbiased king. No,
the
but
crown on your head.
yeah, I mean, I definitely see where both of you are coming from. It is difficult with Horikoshi because he does have a tendency of repeating information, and not only that, he's very much a tell don't show type of guy. So he'll just reiterate the goals and the objectives to reach those goals over and over again, which is annoying. And you know, it is weird. For as much as we get on My Hero Academia for what seems like a very fast pace, in this particular thing where he's setting up goals and objectives, which is basically, you know, like a skeletal mechanic in storytelling, is, you know, the quest, you have the obstacle to get through, so on and so forth. You see it in a lot of D&Ds. In order to do this, you got to do this. In order to do that, you got to do this. Mm-hmm. And that's what reading My Hero Academia feels like for the last couple weeks is just like a DM's checklist. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, kind of.
It is rough, you know. And what I did appreciate though is I get what Brian's saying also about how what Hatsume brings and reuniting with Hatsume in the same way that he did way back in the day when he had to get his initial costume upgrade. It is just kind of like snapping Deku more out of that like dark Deku phase he was going through and reacquainting himself with the fact that he's not alone anymore and he is not the only person who has to fight this battle. So that's the purpose that this serves. It's more, I guess, character interaction between Hatsume and just like trying to get Deku back to a solid foundation of optimism. So, you know, I see the pluses and the minuses of what both of you guys are saying. It's hard to really criticize because like My Hero Academia is technically not doing anything technically wrong. Technically,
no, they're not. we just.
But it is just I don't know. It's slogging along, but it's also so fast.
I think this, and I swear this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and y'all can respond as y'all please. But I found the page that I find as I was reading, I rolled my eyes and was like, so I'll read it to you. Of course, I'm aware of the nasty predicament you heroes are facing out there. We may not be fighters, but just like how you guys are trying every trick in the book to protect as many people as possible, tackling it in our own way, inventing stuff, is how the support course does heroics. Do you know what my problem? All right, so this is all right. Yeah, this was it. We got stuff like this early in the series where he again makes the emphasis to shout out shit that we wouldn't normally think about. But that's all he does with it. He doesn't give them any extra spotlight. He didn't even make them have cool fucking uniforms or nothing. I guess maybe in the fights he'll be like, "Oh yeah, there was this thing she did," and it's like, all right, I guess I'll eat crow when that happens. All right, but like, man, there's been so many times when that's all we've gotten out of certain characters is just, hey, these guys are important and they mean something and they do cool stuff. All right, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's thinking about how this is where. It, again, like big problem, tell don't show is what Horikoshi's doing, where we have Zoro and Luffy who are upgrading as they go, learning as they go. We see it happen physically because that's important because manga is a visual medium more than anything else. So I feel like the best way to, I guess, do this would be like, I don't know, maybe it's an art thing. Maybe have Hatsume instead of just like kind of explaining this stuff. We see what she's working on, as opposed to like the little panels of just the blueprints of the thing. I don't know. I don't claim to have all the answers.
This is what I think. I think this shows like a clear shift in Hero Society already. Not to say that this is like not to say that Horikoshi's doing this in a good way, but what I think his intention is that it's not. Like, the support used to be about the heroes in the past, right? But now it's about the civilians. So it's like a clear shift, and heroes are getting no freebies anymore. Like, they're not getting like the support they used to get all the time. Because right now, these guys, they're overloaded right now. They're already dealing with a lot of shit. They can't afford to waste any time just to give somebody a fucking good makeup. Even though I'm a little disappointed that they didn't get like a new suit or some shit or new items, but it just makes sense that like something's got to give with all these sacrifices that the heroes are making, you know, like something's got to give, and support, like getting support items, getting new and improved shit, like these support guys, they don't have the time to be doing that shit anymore.
That's a good point. I'll give you that really point for sure. I think the point of Deku and Ida not walking away with much is that we're supposed to be like, yo, it's crazy that she accomplished even as much as she did while also building a whole infrastructure for an escape route.
Right, which is like, I mean, that's cool, but she's also a fictional character.
I mean, you can't. It's hard to play that card.
It is hard. No,
because when you do that,
It's realistic.
How many other
barriers.
scrutinies are you gotta do it with everything?
No, but I'm saying if the point,
It's rough, man. But I get what
I'm
Brian.
gonna let it go.
We're getting a little lost in the weeds here.
Good, well said.
But I will say that like I didn't hate this chapter at all.
I didn't hate it either.
I thought it
guess.
was fine. It is.
It just annoyed me.
Yeah, I guess.
it.
I didn't hate it at all. I feel like we come off as My Hero Academia haters a lot. We don't.
I'll
But
own it. That's mostly me. It's fair. You can direct your hate towards
I
Josh
promise
Cole.
that even Josh is not hate My Hero Academia as much as he probably thinks he does. I feel like there's a deep core in both of us that we both very much love this series, but it is not in its best state, in our opinion, at the moment.
In 2/3 of our opinion.
Yeah, in 2/3 of our
Even
opinion.
I wouldn't say My Hero's in its best spot.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
I'm willing to, I'm willing to put things aside and just enjoy things sometimes. And this was a good chapter to like put the negatives aside and just enjoy.
Yeah. He has 2 weeks though. He has 2 weeks to figure shit out.
Before the series ends.
No, it's on break next week.
Oh.
Anyway,
Man.
I suppose we should move onward. Thanks for listening to our spiel.